Hey, welcome back to the channel. I'm going to teach you an exercise that has been super high percentage for helping people with tight pelvic floor muscles, tight lower back muscles, tight glute muscles, really any kind of tension, unwanted tension that you might have in the pelvis. I'm filming this video today with the intention of making it a companion video to go along with a recent podcast that I recorded called The Surprising Benefits of Pelvic Floor Training. Now, in that episode, I went into detail on how we might approach pelvic floor rehabilitation and training in a non-traditional way, looking through more of a neurocentric lens. I mentioned several exercises, and a lot of you guys got back to me and said that you would love to learn one of those drills, and that's what I'm going to do in this video. So, are you ready? Here it is. All right, so the goal of the exercise is to mobilize the sacral nerve roots. We're going to do that a very specific way. If you've followed along with me for a while, you've probably tried some of our neuromechanic drills. And that's exactly what we're going to do today, but it's going to be set up a little bit differently, or I should say driven differently than you may have seen in the past. So the idea with this exercise is to put tension on the tibial branch of the sciatic nerve. We're going to do that by getting into a specific position here in a moment. And then once we're in the position, we're going to use our breathing in a certain way to further increase tension around the sacral nerve roots. So here's how we get into this position. I'm going to work on my right side first. You can choose whatever side you want to do this on. If you happen to have tighter muscles on your right side, perhaps you start on your right side. I will tell you though that if you happen to have any kind of like flare-up going on, like kind of sketchy pain, feeling a little bit unsafe, not sure if a certain movement is going to irritate it, in that scenario, I would do what I'm going to show you on the opposite side. So if you've got anything going on that's a little bit making you a little nervous, really nervy, tight hamstrings, glutes, something like that, if that's happening on your right side, do this on your left just to be safe. And yes, it can still help you. So here we go. I'm working on my right side and I'm seated, which is a good place to start. And what I'm going to do is just take my leg out in front of me. And what we have to do is set up our leg in a specific position to put tension on the tibial nerve. So here we go. First movement is I lift my toes up. Second movement is I pull my foot up towards my forehead. Third movement is I move my foot out towards the pinky toe side. Notice how when I did that, I did not rotate my hip. I want a motion coming from my ankle, okay? From there, I make sure my knee's locked out. I'm then going to take my hip. I'm going to internally rotate it, okay? So I'm still holding all the pieces of the sequence. And then finally, if you don't feel any intense nervy sensations on the back of the leg at this point, you can move your leg in kind of across your midline. Not everybody will need to do that. So just base it on how it feels. Now, before we go any further, I want you to understand there's a rule here that you must follow. When we put the tibial nerve under tension like this, you will feel neural tension on the back of your leg, at least most people will. And if you do, you need to make sure that you keep that tension at a 3 out of 10 for intensity. We don't want to go higher than that because nerves don't want to be aggressively stretched. Okay? If you don't feel any neural tension, perhaps you need to go into the position a little deeper, but also realize you don't necessarily need to feel the neural tension for the exercise to be effective. Okay? So here's where we left off. Now, I'm in this position with my leg. I'm going to lengthen up through the crown of my head, and you've got two options. You can either hip hinge forward. Right now, I've got a lot of tension. I'm feeling that stretch up the back of my calf into my hamstrings. So I'm at a 3 out of 10. I wouldn't go any further. So a hip hinge is one option. And the second option you can try is just rounding your back. Okay? Whichever one of those increases the neural tension the most, that can be the one that you work out of in terms of the position. Okay? So for me, I'm in the hip hinge. So here we are. Now, the nerve's under tension, and I can feel that. What we're going to do is voluntarily contract both of our glute muscles. Just tense your glutes, right? Just squeeze them. So I'm going to do that. I squeeze them. Now I'm going to take a big inhalation through my nose, and I'm going to force the exhale through an open mouth and throat. And then just totally relax. Recover your breathing, preferably through your nose. Shake out your leg, maybe reset your position, okay? It's weird, I know. It probably sounded weird too. What we did was, once the tibial nerve was under tension, we used a forced exhalation and the contraction of our glute muscles to further increase tension around the sacral plexus. Remember, the original goal of this drill was to increase neural tension of the nerve roots around that area. Okay, so let's do it again. Leg goes out, toes up, foot out, lock the knee, rotate the hip in, adduct if you're good to do so. Lengthen up, hip hinge, good. There's my 3 out of 10, although I'm going a little further into this now just from that 1 rep, so that's good. And now I'm going to take a great big inhale, contract my glutes. Keep the glute contraction as you force the exhale until you're fully empty, and then you can relax. If you wanted to, you could maybe do several reps in a row without coming out of the position, but I like to come out of the position because I feel like there's a lot of built up tension in the drill, and relaxing kind of in between each rep really seems to help dismantle some of that tension, okay? So that's it. That's what we're doing here. Let me show you a slightly different angle. So toes, foot out, lock the knee, rotating at the hip, adduct, lengthen up, hip hinge. Okay, I'm actually feeling pretty good there. It's not as intense as it was. Glute contraction, where I tense, big inhale. And relax. Now, I should say, if you are somebody that does hold a lot of unwanted tension in your pelvic floor muscles, it is very important that you do relax in between repetitions, but also that you consciously relax your pelvic floor muscles. Now, if you're somebody that holds a lot of tension in the pelvic floor, you might not even know what that is yet, because you might always be holding that tension in your pelvic floor. So in addition to this, it is good to go through some contract, relax style pelvic floor drills to build your awareness to what it feels like to actually voluntarily relax your pelvic floor muscles. Because that's what I want you to do in between each rep. Even if you have to hang out there and just really concentrate and just breathe nice and easy as you relax, sometimes it can take 2 or 3 times as long to actually relax your pelvic floor muscles as it does to contract them. And it's important that you take as much time as you need to get them to relax in between reps here. And this is, this idea here, it's very typical to do, let's say, 5 total repetitions, okay? And that would make up like 1 round or 1 set. And I might do that a couple times. And if the drill's helping me, I might do that a couple times in a day. So here's what you need to know. The best way to approach this is to understand how your body is responding to the drill, okay? And the best way to know that is to have some kind of assessment. So really it's important for you to stand up, walk around, move, do something that will give you some feedback on how you're moving and you're feeling. The best possible scenario, if you followed me, you hear me saying this and see me in videos talking about this all the time, do some kind of assessment before you do the drill. So whether that's a forward bend, trunk rotation, could be walking, could be deep squatting, it could be testing some discomfort or pain that you have. That would be your baseline. Once you establish your baseline, then you can try the drill. As soon as you're done with the drill, you immediately retest, and your nervous system is going to either put the thumbs up stamp on it or the thumbs down stamp on it. We want the thumbs up, of course, and if you do improve, that means this would be a high payoff drill for you, and you can use it accordingly to help you throughout the day. If it's being perceived as possibly threatening, and you try it again, you tweak something about it, and it's still just not giving you a good assessment, it's actually regressing you, and you are building tension, well then, simply put, it's just not the right exercise for you. And that's fine, because we've got other things you can try too. Everybody's nervous system is their own unique nervous system. Not everybody responds equally to the same stimulus. So remember, test your response. That's going to tell you if this exercise is going to serve you the way that we hope it does. All right, so there it is. I hope you tried the exercise and I hope it helped you out. If you have any questions, certainly ask me those questions in the comments. If you enjoyed the video, give it the old thumbs up. That really goes a long way for us. And remember to go listen to episode number 48 of the Cruise Elite podcast, where I talk about this exercise and much more in regard to approaching pelvic floor training and rehabilitation through more of a brain-based lens. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video.